Hey guys, sitting down here. This is going to be my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai, or the Seven Deadly Sins 332, I think it is. Should be 332. We can't be on chapter 200, right? Yeah, okay, so reparations. The You can pick holes with this chapter, especially some parts where we're looking through a hole and down a hole. Yeah, you can major holes in this chapter, but it's Taizai. I'm gonna try and not go over the same major points I went over last chapter, because then we're just going to be here for a long, arduous time. But prepare for another episode of the late review with yours truly. So we start off with Meliodas banishing the Demon King back to, well, not hell. He's just dying, right? He's fading out of existence. King puts up a fight, like this barrier. I think it's Pollen Garden. Forgot what it's called. To save all the sins and everyone from getting wrecked by Meliodas' attack. And I was like, okay, like the attack is fairly large scale. We see Elizabeth, Gelda, and Zeldris getting flung in the air, but it's not like a country-sized attack, right? Go straight to the next page. It's a double spread, and this was fun. This is what I was expecting, right? This is what I complained about last chapter. A huge atom bomb of freaking power just blows completely out of proportion. You could see that it's absolutely insane, the amount of power that was in that attack. We know because of Meliodas' constant full counters and Merlin's little buff where she combined the attacks, and she buffed all the individuals with their max magical output or some shit like that, or beyond their maximum magical threshold. I'm not sure what she did. It was stupid either way. But this attack was absolutely insane in terms of power. Blows any other attack out of the water easily. We see Hawk getting flung through the air. We see Elizabeth flying, and then we see Elizabeth's best friend, a rock, flying straight towards Elizabeth, about to kill her. Because Elizabeth, like, this is my first major issue with the chapter. Elizabeth's there. This rock is coming towards her. She's blood-stained freaking Ellie. How many times are we gonna bring this up? She's a fighter. She should know how to fight. At least that's what's been hinted, right? This is bullshit. She's there and she's like, "Oh my god!" A rock closes her eyes, and I'm just like, "Bitch, you can fight. Break it down. Like one of your wings could probably bit slap this rock back into the shadow realm or some shit. You can tank this. You probably don't even need to close your eyes. You could probably stand still and tank this flying rock and be completely fine. You are you're meant to be a powerful goddess. You're meant to be so much more than what you are, and what you are at the moment isn't even a healer, which we'll come back to that later. But Meliodas jumps in to save the day. Elizabeth's there fawning over him with his lost vein and stuff like that. And I'm like, but you were so much better than this. You should have been so much more than this. Poor writing, poor character development, poor character progression. Nakaba, you did a bad job there. I was gonna say badass job. You did a bad job. Anyway, Geld is there asking for where Zell is. Zeldris is being held up by another failure of a goddess, or a god. I'm not even sure. Well, we'll come to gods later as well. Oh my god, everything. Okay, so we see Mayo. He's there holding Zeldris up in the air, flying. He's like, I'm glad I made it in time. Bitch, where were you? Where have you been this whole freaking time? While the Sins were like, was he just watching on the sidelines? Like, yo, shit, throwing popcorn down his throat. Like, yo, this is getting pretty lit. The Demon King's kicking the shit out of these guys, which actually never happened. But is that what he was doing in his freaking slides? He was just sat there watching the Sins go toe to toe with the Demon King, kick the shit out of the Demon King, and he did nothing. Why did he give his? I was gonna say quirk. Why did he give his commandment? His commandment. Why did he give his grace to freaking Escanor, who's still burning his life away by the end of this chapter? Actually, he's still in his endeavor mode, burning every essence of his life away for no reason. Because we see that Meliodas does actually have his Demon King form, his Power Ranger form, which I really like because the two arms in the back remind me A of Asura from Asura's Wrath, and B of Naruto when he's going like in his tailed forms and he can change his chakra into fists and stuff like that. Looks awesome. And even though some people might not like the Power Ranger kind of Sentai-ish design, I kind of dig it. It looks kind of cool. But Mael essentially here, he comes in just to save Zeldris. Where have you been all this time? Have you just been in the sidelines watching? That's kind of creepy. And why were you not providing any hint of help at all? You didn't even need to like fight. If you didn't want to fight, calm, that's cool. But, just throw an invigorate here and there, help out the guys, just flick invigorates all over the place. And he didn't even do that. He has been more than useless, and I'm pretty sure that's an oxymoron, but that's exactly what he's been. Gelder gives the doggy eyes to Zeldris, and then everybody in King's little ball of protection, his protection ball, let's call it a nutsack. Everyone in that nutsack just falls straight out. They're all collapsed. Diane is half dead. They're all fatigued beyond explanation because of Merlin's, her random buff, which was going to keep them knocked out for a week. Essentially, she was like, "You're going to be sleeping for a week." And then we have the other issue I have with this chapter. Elizabeth just comes and she's like, "Invigorate, invigorate, invigorate," and I'm just like, where was this beforehand? Like, you were watching everybody like getting injured, fighting against the Demon King, and all that good stuff, and you were just like, "Fight, guys, woo!" It's like how the world is like. This is gonna be a touchy subject. It's like how the world's currently looking at Hong Kong, like, yeah, woo, we support you, but no one's doing shit. The only thing that we've had so far is the Prime Minister of Taiwan said something like, "Yo, bitches, shit's going down in Hong Kong. The rest of the world needs to actually pretend to at least do something." We're not even pretending right now, right? And it's the same wherever you go in the world where there's major plight. That's exactly what Elizabeth has done this chapter. She was just kind of on the sidelines like Mael, going, "Woo, yeah, I'm part of the sins. Yeah, go, friends. You got this." And she didn't even do any bit. She didn't help at all. She didn't give any of her little invigorates. And that's all we needed. All we needed was one healer on the team. We got loads of these DPS. We got tanks. We got everything. Just throw in a little bit of healing every now and again. But she was going full, like, she's that healer that just goes full DPS. But she didn't even go DPS. She's that healer that just stays in the spawn point and does nothing. That's exactly what Elizabeth was. And she didn't even get kicked from the game. And neither did Mael. Mael could have done something as well. But the goddesses have been more than useless, as I've said before. They've just been more than useless or less than useless. I'm not sure which one actually works. Probably less than useless, but basically they've been useless and worse than that. Diane talks about how she can't move a muscle. Garth is like, "Yes, that's because you are flesh. I am dull. I don't feel pain. I'm feeling like I'm falling apart." I'm like, cool. We get this cheesy kind of dialogue between Ban and King, where King's like, how do I actually go about getting married? Ban calls him an idiot. He's like, "Oh, but I'm going to be your future brother-in-law." I'm like, I don't give a shit. I seriously could not give a shit at this point. And Diane is just getting a little bit flustered by it. Zeldris then, with his wings of darkness, goes up to Meliodas and he's like, "How did you do it? How did you... That combined attack should have leveled Britannia. Why didn't it?" And I was like, yeah, actually, why did it all blow upwards rather than, horizontally and destroy the entirety of Britannia? Which is what the Demon King made it sound like. And that's what Zeldris wants to know. He's like, how in the world did you manage to get it to strike only the Demon King? This I mentioned earlier in the chapter, a hole in the ground that we're looking through. And Meliodas is there and he's like, "Oh yeah, see this little bubble thing?" And it's a huge bubble, by the way. It looks like a ball of water. Apparently it's a magical lake of endless mana. They were safe thanks to this absorbing all the excess power. Oh boy. Okay, so this is where the Lake of Salisbury was getting all of its magical power from. Beneath it is this magic lake of endless mana, which apparently has the properties of absorbing excess power or something. It's a really contrived, really poorly written plot device where all of that magic just apparently got absorbed into this, even though from what we've seen of the lake, this mana lake thing should be emitting magic, right? It should be oozing out magic, but apparently it also has the properties of absorbing magic because it has a mind of its own and it does shit like that. I'm just like, you've written this in out of nowhere. Nobody knew about this. No one's mentioned this shit. We knew about the Lake of Salisbury. Yeah, cool, whatever. But where the frick did this endless lake of mana freaking come? Bro, I'm not going to complain too much about it because at this point it's just bullshit. But apparently this lake exists. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. And Griever, let me know what you think about that. I'm going to watch your review after this because I get the feeling you're going to be a little upset. I get the feeling. Zeldris then goes on to be like, "Oh, it's amazing you came up with this on the spot." Meliodas is like, "Yeah, that was Merlin." Apparently in their moment of not even plight, because Meliodas could have just shit on the Demon King. He could have literally pulled down his pants, looked his father in the eye, looked at the ground and catapulted his shit straight towards his dad, and he would have been fine. all the way throughout this whole last epic, if that's what you want to call it. But what Merlin did is, while they were running towards or flying towards the Davy Jones looking Demon King, she was like, oh, blast through the Demon King, aiming for the lake, because I know through my intense reading and research over millennia that there is a lake, an endless lake of magic and mana beneath the lake, but nobody else is to know, right? Nobody else is to know that it would also absorb the power, but I know the physics behind mana, right? Apparently, if it emits magic, it's sure as hell gonna absorb it. That's how things work. And I'm just like, this seems like another. And you see Merlin's smug face as she's flying in the air, looking down, like, ha, knew that was gonna happen. I'm like, bitch, ain't nobody know that was gonna happen. There's no way you should have known that was gonna happen. And like I said, due to the fact that there was no explanation prior to this, it feels like another Merlin ass pull, and it feels like a Meliodas kind of trusting in this. It's ass pull deluxe, is what we'll refer to it as. Anyway, we see that the commandments aren't disappearing. All 10 commandments are still there, even though they've definitely defeated the Demon King, is what Diane says. And the commandments are half the Demon King's power, right? So for some reason, half the Demon King's power is still intact, even though he should be dead, rather than just dead. Ban's sweating now, so is King, and Endeavor's this. Endeavor? Oh, I fully fucked that up. But what's his face? Engie. No, what's his Escanor. That's it. There's too many E's here. Escanor's there in his full Endeavor mode, and I'm like, turn it off! You're burning your life away. I think at this point he can't actually turn it off. That's the observation I'll make. I have no grounds to confirm this, apart from the fact that he's still in this mode that's burning his life away. But they're all sweating it out, thinking, yo, shit, what if the Demon King comes back again? I'm like, then kick his ass again. I mean, well, we have to remember that they're all out of it for a week, right? They're all feeling the fatigue. Merlin then pops up next to the commandment saying, well, we are dealing with a god here. Even if we're able to defeat him, destroying him completely won't be so simple and straightforward. Please, let it be so simple and straightforward. Just kill the guy already. And I understand that, the Demon King and the Supreme Deity, we haven't really seen the Supreme Deity at all, but the Demon King always referred to himself as a god. But it's not like he was born a god, right? Did he just hit a certain power level where he became a god and then wasn't able to die? Like, because he split his power in half, he just can't die. Centuries will pass and he'll just recover all that energy. I'm like, that sounds like bullshit. At the end of the day, he should still be a demon, right? He should still be completely killable. I understand he's viewed as the god of the Demon Kings and of the demon realm, and that I completely understand. And maybe he has this kind of whole complex, this god complex, where he thinks he's a god. But the fact that he is actually a god here, I'm not so sure if I like that either. And maybe you guys will disagree with me and bury me in the comments or something like that. But I feel like this is also a slight lathering of bullshit. I don't agree with this at all. I don't think that's the way to have gone here. Anyway, Merlin says he'll regain his original strength, by the way, not even half. Original strength back in a few decades or centuries. That's quite a that's a big gap. Let's just say it as it is. A few centuries or a few decades. So you're saying either, like, let's say 60, 70 years or 600, 700 years. That's tenfold. Come on, man. Give me a slightly better guesstimation, right? Diane saying, oh, a few centuries, that's no time at all. Merlin's continuing to smile, say, actually, we do have a way to destroy it, right, Meliodas? Meliodas is like, yeah, I got the way. This is the part that a lot of people were frustrated about, and I wasn't really frustrated because I was completely aware, and I think a lot of the people were completely aware of the fact that he had this form. Zelda shits himself, by the way, seeing Meliodas assume this form. But Meliodas goes full Sentai / Demon King / Nine Tails with Aizen's wings things on his back with a tribal design on his front, looking cool as fuck. I really dig this look. I know a lot of people don't. I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, Zelrus poops his pants, probably pees a little too, saying, oh my god, this form is on the same level as... No, it's beyond Father's power. How are you actually manifesting this power all on your own? Meliodas doesn't answer that. He gathers the commandments together and he says, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive all of my power, all of this Demon King power that I've got, straight into the commandments, and when they crack into each other, they're gonna kill each other. That's exactly what he is. He's like, I'm going to use my power. I'm going to use the stones to kill the stones, to break the stones, to, I use the stones. What is it? The Thanos thing. I think I've said stones too many times now. But he's going to use his power to kill his dad's power, and that in turn is going to kill his power. Because it's like, two things with equal mass, equal velocity, equal force going straight into each other, they're going to cancel each other out and destroy each other completely. That's Meliodas' logic. I'm like, that sounds awful convenient for someone who doesn't want to leave the human realm, right? The whole idea is that Meliodas now has so much power as someone who can assume a demon king form. He has so much power that he is not physically allowed to stay within the realm of the humans. So he has to go to the realm of the demons, which isn't purgatory. And also, that was never answered, by the way, as well. Why was the demon king ever in purgatory? Why was he just chilling there? Why was he not in the demon realm, sat upon his throne, thinking, "Yo, my kids are little asshats. I gotta go slap up their mama or some shit." I don't promote domestic abuse, but where is their mama as well? There's so many different questions I have. Maybe they didn't even have no mama. Maybe he's asexual or some shit, and he just, like a strawberry, he just kind of made two of himself, and one of them happened to fuck up and go blonde or some shit. That was such a sidetrack. But Meliodas' logic here is horrible. It's another convenience that just pops up out of nowhere. I'm gonna eject my power all over this half of my dad's power. It should only be half, by the way. And they're gonna blow each other up and destroy each other. And I'm just like, I don't like it. It's convenient. It makes it so much easier. And actually, I think in one of my reviews, I might have mentioned if Meliodas doesn't actually have to go to the demon realm due to his immense power, it's going to piss me off. Well, here we go. It pissed me off. He didn't actually go. He's not going to go to the demon realm because he's removing himself of the burden of this power. That's all he had to do. He attained this form and he's like, oh, I can't. It wasn't the reason why he didn't want to actually go to, become as powerful as the Demon King, because he wanted to stay in the human realm. And when he got that power, he was like, you could see the regret, but also the decision he'd made. I gotta save everyone, but I have to do it at the expense of leaving the human realm. But none of that matters now, because apparently all along he could have just been like, ejection, just like freaking Super Nintendo, press a button and the cartridge comes out. I don't agree with this as well. It's bullshit. Nakaba, bullshit, big bullshit. So Galitha observes that the ground is cracking, lightning's flying all over the place because the Demon King's essentially Meliodas' power and the Demon King's power resonating with each other. Zeldris grabs onto Meliodas' hand, saying, with this power you could take over Father's place as Demon King. Meliodas is like, yeah, I could, but I don't want to be a tyrant like our father was. I don't need that power. And then he looks at Zeldris and he's like, what do you think? Do you think I need that power? Is that what you want? Do you want me to rule people by fear or with power? Or do you want me to rule them as a good leader? Zeldris is just like, yeah, you know what? I'm cool with this. So he lets Meliodas do it. And I'm just like, okay, that didn't really have any impact for me. Zeldris was just like, yeah, you could become king. Meliodas just says what he's always said. I don't give a shit about being king, really. And Zeldris is like, cool. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. Anyway, Meliodas is then monologuing inside his head about, what his father said. This will bring about the end of the era of light and darkness. Meliodas then, speaking to himself, because his father's quite dead, says, just like you said, regardless of what kind of era comes next, we will never stop fighting. Not us, not those that shall inherit our will. Okay, so now we're talking Naruto in terms of Will of Fire and some shit. Awesome artwork where it's like this, it looks like a sketch. Some people might not like it. I really like it. It looks very cool. I'm not an artist. I don't know how to describe it. But that's Meliodas' answer. The commandments all burn away. Zeldris is like, it's all over, yeah. We get a beam of light piercing through the blackened skies. And Meliodas just turns around to his brother. He's like, okay, let's celebrate and drink. They're all smiling and they're all happy. Elizabeth and Gelda just looking at each other. Probably, I'm not sure, are they going to make out? I'm not betting on it. It might be a good part of the story for once. Who knows? Anyway, Meliodas asks Zeldris, he's like, you want to join this? Zeldris is like, I'm not a party type of guy, but if it was just the two of us, I might reconsider. So he wants some time with his brother. Kind of cute, not gonna lie. I'm just like, okay, cool. He actually wants some time with his brother. It's about time that he gets to actually bond with him. Cool. But Meliodas is there talking about drinks and stuff, and Endeavor's still there. Endeavor, I've said it again. God damn it. I shouldn't review these chapters at all. But Escanor is just there burning his life essence away once again. Like, punch the guy unconscious or do something. Get the flames off him. Pee on him if you got it. All of you do it together. Someone needs to stop the guy burning his life away, and none of you are doing it. Gelda and Elizabeth look at each other lovingly as Zeldris and Meliodas probably haven't gotten the clue yet that maybe the both of them got something going on. The chapter ends there. I wasn't a big fan. It wasn't as bad as probably last chapter, but it was just not very good at all. This was a 20-minute review. It was meant to be a 5-minute review. There's really not much to say about it, and I just went through every single page, but I didn't enjoy it so much. I didn't like it. I'm going to go check out Griever's review after I've seen this. You guys go check out Griever's review too, because chances are he probably had similar issues. I hope he can change my mind. Maybe he will. Let's see how it goes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys, and I'll see you guys in a bit.